Good afternoon and welcome to this new episode of Real Talk Alignment at Speak Up and Empower. My name is Crystal Biga. I'm your host. We are here every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about alignment. Thank you again for joining me. If you're joining me live, feel free to say hi, share your name with me in the comments. Let me know where you're watching this from. I'm recording this from Los Angeles, California. So, Real Talk Alignment is hosted by Speak Up and Empower, and Speak Up and Empower is a membership based community of heart centered entrepreneurs that are on a mission to empower you in every area of your life. So, if you are an expert at anything, you feel you have a voice, you have a message to share with the world, you can empower people in any way, shape, or form. We invite you to join our community of expert, heart centered entrepreneurs and start empowering more people together. And if you are just looking for resources to get empowered in your relationship, in your business, in your spirituality, health, fitness, all of the areas of your life you will want support with, we also invite you to check out speakupandempower.com and find all the resources available from our experts. So again, thank you for joining me for this new episode of Real Talk Alignment. All right, today I wanted to talk about something really special that I was thinking about before actually coming live here. Alignment, what is it about? Everybody's talking about alignment right now. We are talking more, we hear it more and more. Some people still don't know what it is. Some people have an idea of what it is, and feels like everybody has a special or different definition of alignment, what it means. And at the end of the day, whatever we think about alignment, whatever we believe alignment is, it comes down to one thing: just showing up in your life, doing things from a place of authenticity, showing up as the truest version of yourself in your personal life, in your business, in your relationship, in any area of your life, always making sure that you are showing up as the truest version of yourself. That's basically the journey of alignment. But I want to ask this simple question, and I want you to think about it with me. When we talk about alignment, we say it's just you showing up as the truest version of yourself. What does that mean? What is the truest version of yourself? I think I have people joining me. Please don't be shy. Feel free to say hi while you're joining. So what does that mean, being the truest version of yourself? What is the truest version of yourself? Who are you? That's the simplest way to ask the question. Who are you? What is that truest version of yourself that you are looking to connect with through the journey of alignment? The truest version of yourself is really who you are. And who you are is the full you, the full version of the being you are. We all mostly focus on the human being that we are, and we forget that, yes, we are humans, but we are also divine. We are 100% humans and 100% divine. So in that journey of finding the truest version of yourself and showing up as the truest version of yourself in any area of your life, I want you to start thinking about that truest version of yourself being fully human and fully divine. And when I say divine here, I don't really, want you to get stuck into a belief system or religious system or anything like that. I really want you to take it a step further, because it's all about who we are as humans. We are divine beings as well. And that's a piece we don't really think about, because we always want to attach it to religion, to a belief system, and all the things that have nothing to do with what is the truth. We are divine. There is nothing we can do about it. No matter what we believe in, no matter what we don't believe in, the truth stays the truth. The facts remain the fact. If one day in your life you have ever said, my intuition told me this, you have acknowledged your divinity. If one day in your life you have had the feeling that you knew something that nobody told you, you have acknowledged the divinity in you. So that's the divinity I'm talking about here. It's in all of us. And in that journey of alignment that we are involved in, we are engaging, and everybody's talking about more and more, I really want us to pay more attention to that divine part of ourselves, because we cannot fully be the truest version of ourselves if we ignore a part of who we are as creatures. We are not only human beings. Yes, we see our bodies, we feel things with, we taste, we touch, we smell, we see, and all of the things. But above those things, Above what our physical eyes can see, there is something in us that can see a little bit more things that our physical eyes can see. That's the divine part of us. And we all have that in us. It doesn't make us any special. Some people are more connected to their divinity. That's why they can see more. So you have people that can have the gift to see things, to know things. We call it gift. But the truth is, it's just people being more connected, more in alignment with the divine part of themselves. It's not a special gift that they have that you don't have. If you're watching this, I want you to know that divinity is available and it's in you. You are that divinity. You are that energy that knows things that nobody tells you. You are that divinity that sees things that nobody shows you. You are that divinity that sees above what physical eyes can see. And I want to especially take the example of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are visionaries, are people that have dreams and visions and goals. Where are all those visions coming from? Sometimes you have a vision or you want something that just seems impossible. Just that seems crazy. Where does that vision come from? And I will take my favorite example here, the brothers Wright. I love that example because those two brothers were just two bicycle mechanics. That's all they were doing. That's how they were, feeding their families. If they had families, I'm not sure about that, but that's how they were supporting themselves, fixing bicycles. Bicycles don't have engines, so they were not engineers. They were not that smart. They didn't, go to high school and all of the things, but they had a vision. And I want you to listen, to pay attention to this, because there is a place, there is something in you. That divine part of you shows you things that you can call vision, that you can call dreams, that you can call maybe goals, that your brain sometimes have a hard time to catch up with. And that's where the human steps in and like, this is crazy. We can't do this. Stop it. This is ridiculous. Nobody has never done it. Have you ever tried to do something in your business a certain way and somebody steps in and tell you, nobody does it this way? Nobody does it this way because maybe those people are not seeing what your divinity, the divinity in you, the divine part of you is showing you. Only you see it. That's why sometimes it's so hard to explain your vision to other people, because you see it. Your divinity showed you that, and you cannot explain it to the human brain. You see above what the human eyes are seeing. So that was the story of those two brothers. They had that vision of flying an aircraft. It made no sense to the human brain for those people that had no engineering background, that were not even working on engines. Their job was fixing bicycles, no engine on bicycles. So it made zero sense for their human brain to come up with that idea. Their human capacities could have never led them to a place of believing they can even do something that crazy. But there was something more. And I challenge anyone out there to come and prove me that it was not something higher than what their human was, aware of. And that's the divine nature of each one of us that I want us in this journey of alignment to tap into, to connect with, because we all have access to it. It's available to all of us. We are just not connected. We are just not paying attention. We are just not listening. We are just resisting. But we know deep down that we all have that in us. And those two brothers took action in that because they were connected to the divine part of themselves that showed them something the human brain or eyes had not seen yet. There was no aircraft before that. So there was no way for them to say, we saw it somewhere. That's what I'm talking about when I say seeing beyond what the physical eyes can see. They saw something that wasn't anywhere else in the planet. They knew something. They had an information that nobody taught them because it wasn't available out there. Nobody had never done it before. So there was no way somebody would have taught them how to make an aircraft flight. There was no way because it was never done before. So where did they get the knowledge from? Where did they get the information from? Where did they get the vision from? My answer is they were tapped, connected to the divinity in them, and they saw that big vision. They had that higher knowledge. They had that higher, they got those higher skills that nobody taught them. They knew things nobody, taught them, showed them, explained to them. They just knew. And you have the same access to that level of knowing, because that divinity is a part of each human being in this planet. But we are not aware of it. We are not consciously tapping into that energy. We are not consciously tapping into that part of who we are. That's the truest version of who you are. If you're in the journey of alignment, trying to find the truest version of yourself, trying to show up as the truest version of yourself, it's time for you to consider tapping into the divinity within you. That's the truest version of who you are. You are not just physical. You are also spiritual. You are not only natural, you are supernatural. And you have access to that infinite source of knowing that can give you the answers to all the hows you're asking all day long. How am I going to reach this goal in my business? How am I going to make more money? How am I going to, find the perfect match for my life? How am I going to solve this problem? All the hows you are, struggling with, overloading your poor human, your physical, your brain is overwhelmed, you have headaches, you get sick in your body because you are putting too much pressure, you're asking too much from your human. Your human can only know so much. Your human can only do so much. Your human can only achieve so much. To avoid the overwhelm, the burnout, the frustration, the stress, to make things easier and to accomplish greater things in life, to make a bigger impact, it helps to really connect to that divinity within you. That's the truest version of yourself. If you're in the journey of alignment, of trying to show up in the world as the truest version of yourself, you cannot be fully you if you are not connected to your divine. You cannot be fully you if you are not using everything that you are. You are 100% human and you are 100% divine. It's not something that is available to others and not to you. It's available to each one of us because that's who we are. That's the truest version of each and every human being on this planet. It's just a matter of acknowledging it, being aware of it, and not just witnessing it, because we have all witnessed the divinity in us some way, somehow. We have had instances in our lives where we met someone for the first time and we just knew some way, somehow that, we shouldn't be around that person for too long. We can't explain it. I don't know, but there's something off about this person. Nobody told us anything about the person. No, the person even didn't do anything, but something just sets off the alarm. What is that something that sets off the alarm? You can see somebody and you feel like, I know this person. I have always known, I just feel connected at a different level, at a deeper level to this person. We connected so fast, so quick. How did you know you can connect to that person? You enter a room full of people in a party and something leads you to a particular person. You have a great time with that person. What is that something that led you to that person? What is that something that told you to go, talk to that person instead of any other person in the room? What is that something? We know, we all witness it every day, and everything we do, we witness it. You have these incredible ideas for your business and you can't explain where that idea cannot leave you. Even though your brain is screaming, this is crazy. Something in you just can't get rid of that idea. You just cannot not think about it. And something in you knows that you have to follow it. What is that something in you? Sometimes you say something and people ask you, how did you know? You say, I just knew. How did you just know? You just knew because for a second, that divinity gave you the answer and you paid attention to just share it without overthinking it, without trying to make it make sense. You just shared it. And people are wowed, like, whoa, this is great. How did you come up with that? I don't know. Instead of just being a witness of that powerful source of wealth, power, knowledge, information, and everything else, How about aligning to it? Aligning your human and your divine, becoming fully you. A human being that is 100% human and 100% divine. That's the true journey of alignment. It's time to not only focus on our human. Yes, our feelings guide us. Our emotions are saying something that we should pay attention to. But there's something deeper than that. There is something bigger than that. And that is the something that actually makes you full and gives you all the talents, the abilities, the knowledge that help you create things, incredible things in the world. We all want to make a difference. We all want to, leave a legacy. We all want to make an impact. We all have that desire, that longing. Where does that longing come from? Where? Why do we have that feeling of, I just know there is something more? Where does that come from? If we don't see anything more, if we do not have access to anything more, how do we know deep down that there is something more? How do we know? How do we know? We know because the divine part of ourselves is telling us, is reminding us, hey, this is not it. There is so much more. There is something bigger. But to access that something bigger, to access that something more, it takes more than the human. It takes more than what the human brain can learn, can, practice. It takes more than what your physical body can do. It takes more than that. Sometimes you can get there working really hard, yes, but it can be easier. Working hard and trying to get everything together, trying to figure everything out is a way. It's one way. Nothing wrong with that. But if there is an easier way, there is an easier way. And what makes things easier is the divine, because the divine doesn't need to work hard. The divine will show you the shortcut. The divine will show you the answer right away without you having to look for it for months, for years, and being frustrated along the way. When you align to that divinity in you, it makes things really easier. And instead of you waiting for years, because that's what the human story is, it takes time to get what you want. It takes it takes this, it takes that. With the divine, it takes a second. With the divine, it just shows up. I love to say just like magic. That's the divinity. That's the power we have access to, but we are not tapped into. We are not connected to. We are not paying attention to. It's available. We are all divine. Yesterday, I had an interview for a podcast. I was invited, and I said something that was shocking to the host, and I didn't know. I didn't really mean to shock her, and I didn't know her background. And after she told me, but I just said that we are God. And then she shared with me that she's Christian, so it was kind of triggering for her to hear that. And I get it. It can be triggering. But that's the truth. We have to face it. That's who we are. We can't keep, pushing so hard on the human, asking so much to the human, because we don't want to look at our divinity. It works together. That's the real alignment. You get these big visions from the divine, and you get the step-by-step process. The point here is not for your human to take over and try to figure things out and make everything complicated and hard. You have that big vision, you have that goal, you have that dream. You allow the step-by-step, the aligned action to come to you, to the human, and you just do those things that sometimes are so easy that it looks ridiculous, and your brain is like, no way, everybody is saying that this is how it works. What is it? This isn't just ridiculous. There is no way. That's the human trying to take over, trying to control, trying to make it happen. Because it doesn't make sense when things just happen without you having control. That's why we are so caught up in the conversation of how can you do this? How are you going to do this? And even in coaching, they tell you have to tell people how you are going to get them there. They have to know the process. They have to trust the process, because the human wants to control. We want to control, because if I know the how, I have a certain level of control. But if I just let the divine do the magic and just make things happen, how am I going to explain that? If people ask me how, what am I going to say? It doesn't make any sense. It cannot happen like that. Yes, it's easy. Yes, that can be fine, but I don't think it will make sense. It needs to make sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, my brain is going crazy, right? But that's the real power we have access to. The power to create things just like that. The power to make things happen, our big visions, our dreams, our goals, without any skills, any qualification, any training, like the brothers, right? They were not engineers, they were not trained, they had nothing for themselves. Imagine them in their neighborhood. What were people saying about them? Those two bicycle mechanic guys, as you know, on up to something really stupid, they say they're gonna create an aircraft. Like, really? And people were probably laughing. Their brains or themselves are probably like, what are you guys doing? This is ridiculous. Nobody has never done this. And you are not qualified. You don't know this. You don't know, even you don't even know engines. You don't know this. You don't, reminding them all the things they were not prepared for, all the things they never trained for, all the things they never learned, all the things the human didn't have. But they knew that even if the human didn't have the information, even if the human didn't have the answers, the divine did. The divine had the answers. The divine had the knowledge, and they just needed to tap into that, to align their human and divine, get the information from the divine and implement with the human. That's how they're able to make a difference, change the world forever. Thomas Edison said that when he was working on his formula for the light bulb, when he will finish writing all the formulas, all the things he knew, all the things he had learned, all the things that were in his brain, in his human brain, he will take a nap, consciously going to get access to informations that he didn't have in the physical realm. He did it because he was aware that he's not only human. He doesn't just have a brain that can accumulate information. His only source of information is not only what he had learned, what he has practiced, what he, they told him. He had another source of information. So he will consciously take a nap to access that source of information, and he will come out from that nap with the right formula. Those are the people that change the world. So I don't know what your goal here is. If you want to make a difference, you want to make an impact, you want to achieve great things, and I believe that's the goal of each entrepreneur. That's why we start a business. We want to make a difference. But it can be easier for you if you could if you could align your human and your divine. Use everything you have. Be the truest version of yourself. And the truest version of yourself is you are human and you are divine. Access, consciously connect to that divine part of yourself. Stop wandering around looking for helpers or saviors or solutions outside of yourself. When you have access to the source of all knowing, to the source of all powers, to the source of all skills that you feel like you don't have right now to get where you want to go. Tap into that infinite source of everything and get where you want to go faster. Make things easier on your human. Make things easier on your human. Stop relying only on your physical brain to give you the answers, to figure it out. Access that divinity within you to give you answers, to answer all your hows. You're asking all day long, how? Ask the divine. The answers are there. And those answers will take you faster where you want to go. And your divine in you is also there to help you do things that nobody did before. Like the brothers right did. So sometimes we look around and try to do what have been done before. We try to model what other people have done before because we just think that there is nothing more to do. But who knows? Maybe you can create something new, something different, something unique, something that when you are talking about right now, people are like, what are you even talking about? Nobody does this way. Nobody runs this business this way. Nobody gets clients this way. Nobody makes money this way. Nobody finds a husband this way. Nobody does this way. And you do it because your divine can do anything. You can do anything. When I say you're divine, I don't want you to look at something outside of yourself. You can do anything because you are that divine. You are the divine energy. You can create anything you want. Like that. It's hard for the human sometimes to see above the physical eyes, but because you see above that with your divine, you make things happen faster, and it's easier. It doesn't take you long. It doesn't get to the frustration point. It doesn't take you to the burnout stage. That's the real journey of alignment. So if you have watched this episode, even if you're catching the replay, just type #replay. And if you have any question, always feel free to reach out. You know, you can DM me. We can continue this conversation. But before I close this episode today, I just want you to stay or live with one simple thought. What if? What if I was actually that divine being that this lady described today? What if I was actually that powerful? What would that mean? What could I create today in my business from that place of knowing that I am not stuck? I have all the answers. Even if my brain doesn't have the answers, there is a part of me that has those answers. I'm divine, so I know all of it. What if I could access that part of me that knows it all? What could I accomplish? How faster could I get where I want to go? How easier could things get? What if I was that being she's describing? What does that look like to really be the truest version of who I am, which is 100% human and 100% divine? What would my life look like? What would my business look like? What would my whole universe look like? I want you to live with that question. And if you have anything to share with me, feel free, post a comment, reach out, let's talk. But it was a pleasure to have you here today in this new episode, in this last episode of Real Talk Alignment at Speak Up and Empower. Again, Speak Up and Empower is a community of heart-centered entrepreneurs that have a message, that have a voice, and that are on a mission to empower you in your business, health, spirituality, relationship, fitness, beauty, all of it. So if you need to be, if you're an expert in anything and you want to join this amazing community, please reach out, check out speakupandempower.com. And if you just want to be empowered, I also invite you to check out speakupandempower.com. You can become a member and benefit from all the knowledge and the resources the experts have available for you over there. Again, my name is Crystal Biga. I'm your host, and I was really happy to have you here today. We will be here again next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time for Real Talk Alignment. If you want to stay in contact, you can always check out my Facebook page. You can check out my YouTube channel that I will really love you to subscribe to have more resources from me. And it's always a pleasure to be here with you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.